Rated T for teen.
Airborne! Who do the Nazis fear the most? Airborne! Go! See the way, baby!
Someday, somewhere, someone will make the World War II game to end all World War II games. Unfortunately, Medal of Honor Airborne is not that game, seeing as how Brothers in Arms Hal's Highway will be released 2 months from now. So if you know my reviews, you'll know I'm not a fan of World War II games. But even with that hypocritical notion nagging at me, I couldn't help but enjoy Medal of Honor Airborne. Everyone knows already that the thing EA was selling with Airborne is their newly crafted quote-unquote start-anywhere approach to the World War II shooter. So unlike a normal shooter where you always start at a predetermined point in the level, Airborne gives you the somewhat limited option of choosing where to start in a battlefield by throwing you out of a plane at the beginning of each level. This is a cool concept because you get a feeling of interactive freedom that isn't necessarily there in other games. However, like I mentioned, it is somewhat limited. In many missions, the objective locations in the drop area are too far away for you to land in, and as a result, you're sort of forced to land in a predetermined area, which still offers a lot of options as to where you start. But if you go into this game believing you can literally land anywhere in a given level, you'll be sorely disappointed. Another issue I had with Airborne's levels was that you can choose which sequence you want to approach each objective, but while you're working your way through an objective area, it feels a lot like a corridor shooter because you're sort of just slowly working your way down a set path, and that open level design starts to disappear. It's not like this for every mission though, and the intense action can counterbalance the linearity of the firefights. Another minor complaint I have is the hit detection with Airborne's weapons. Just because a Nazi is in your sights doesn't mean you're going to hit him, and just because you hit him doesn't mean he's going to die. I suppose I can understand a pistol round from a submachine gun not killing a Nazi in one shot, but if I nail the bastard with a 30-06 round from my M1 rifle, he should be a goner. But that just ain't how it works in Airborne. Since I've already started with my gripes about the game, I guess I'll finish them off by mentioning the AI problems I encountered with Airborne. The one thing that recurred over and over again was my annoying AI squad mates jumping in the path of my bullets. This really gets annoying with grenades because you'll try to throw one at the enemy, but instead it'll bounce off your fellow soldier's head and land on your face. And I'm pretty sure you can guess what happens after that. Enemy AI isn't all that good either. They tend to attack and flank when you're reloading, which seems smart, but they also have this nasty tendency to run at you in an attempt to beat you senseless with the butt of their rifle. This doesn't seem smart at all, because if I walk into a room with a shotgun, and a Nazi soldier charges at me swinging his SMG like a baseball bat, you can imagine the negative effects that could have for him. Now I just have to add that all those gripes, all those complaints, in spite of all of those, Medal of Honor Airborne is still a very fun game to play. One of the reasons for this are the various weapon upgrades. Each time you use a weapon, it'll get that much closer to getting upgraded again. These upgrades aren't just for show either. They actually make your weapons more powerful and more devastating, and it gives you a better sense of accomplishment than simple shooting. Medal of Honor Airborne's presentation is also a definite plus. Graphics are top-notch, environments, effects, just everything looks fantastic, and the explosions and whizzing bullets give you a chaotic sense that you're knee-deep in a realistic war zone. And the enemies, in spite of bad AA problems, are definitely challenging. Airborne is probably a relative 6 to 8 hour playthrough in single player, which isn't that long. Trying to find all the skill drops in each mission, the difficulty settings, and the weapon upgrades add a lot more content though, but the short length of the campaign might still hurt it for some people. One reason for this is the simplicity and primitiveness of the multiplayer. The multiplayer side of Airborne feels a little thrown together. There's only 12 players, and this seems like a lot less because the 5 maps available to you are huge, and more players would have been a welcome addition. Modes are about as abundant as the levels, and overall the multiplayer kind of walks the line between finished and tacked on. I still wouldn't say it's tacked on, but the emphasis here was definitely on the single player. All said, I'll give Medal of Honor Airborne a 6, which I classify as average. The game's presentation and graphics are worth a lot more than that, but I just had too many issues with this game to score it any higher. I'd say to definitely rent Airborne before you consider buying it, because it is fun, and in spite of the game's various flaws, Medal of Honor Airborne is the best Medal of Honor game we've seen in a long time.
Enemy!